That's the thing about life. It can be unpredictable, but your dreams need not be. How far would you go to make your dreams come true? How close are you to reaching those goals set by you? While others focus on a new normal, you focus on a new beginning. Look around for what inspires you. Build your narrative. After all, it's your story to tell. Take a chance. Take a leap. Begin your study abroad journey with us.
Looking for the right course for you? Welcome to AECC Global's Course Search, your one-stop platform for all your international education needs. Browse through millions of free, valuable study abroad resources to pursue your international study dream. To begin your search, type in your preferred course in the search bar. Filter by sub-course category, level of study, destination preference, tuition fees, duration, and post-study work visa. With a destination drop-down, you can search for the preferred destinations of your choice. You can also filter down courses like top-ranked universities in your preferred destination and their rankings. Browse through various career choices, and you can also browse through free student resources like articles on tips to study abroad, the latest news, etc. We are here to support you with every step of your study abroad journey. To explore your course options, visit search.aeccglobal.com.
Hello everyone, welcome to AECC Global Indonesia webinar session. My name is Rani and I'll be the host for your session this afternoon. Salam kenal juga bagi mereka yang baru pertama kali mengikuti acara kami. Terima kasih sebelumnya sudah luangkan waktu di platform kami sore hari ini untuk mendapatkan informasi menarik tentang study business in Germany and Netherlands. Narasumber kami hari ini adalah Ivan Srithivan, the Business Development Executive from Global University Systems. And today, melalui tema Study Business in Germany and Netherlands, Ivan will be talking more about GISMA Business School and Intercollege in Amsterdam. Ivan, do you want to say hello shortly to our audience, please?
Hello everybody, selamat siang semua. Yes, it's an absolute pleasure, Lani, to be here in the webinar with you and your exceptional team over at AECC. Today is going to be great because what we are going to talk about is on the opportunity of higher education program available in emerging European destinations, such as in Germany and in Holland for the matter. So what I'm doing right now is I'm currently representing two universities, actually overseeing their branding and operations across Southeast Asia. So they are called GISMA Business School based in Germany and Intercollege based in Amsterdam in Holland for the matter. So while we go through the respective programs and also what are their interesting types of advantages over at these respective universities, we will also talk about the destination as well in general, so that it provides not just an overview, but also a little bit of thought about considering destinations such as this.
Right. Thank you, Ivan. Well, before passing on the screen to you, Ivan, let me remind teman-teman di AECC Global, apabila ada pertanyaan, silakan chat your questions in the Q&A box. Bukan di chat box, tapi di Q&A box, sehingga kita towards the end of the session, we can answer your questions. Okay, so without further ado, let me pass on the screen to you, Ivan, to start the session.
Terima kasih, Lani. Thank you so much. Let me just share my screen first. So today we're just going through a couple of slides, and I would like to start with GISMA first, the German university. It's an incredible university, so to say. Germany itself is a really, really good country to actually consider to study your higher education over. And one of the university options which are fairly available and really, really open for Indonesian students to come over is essentially GISMA University of Applied Sciences. So today, while we are going through about this, we will also chat about how Germany is and how it does add value to your higher education goals and also your future career success as well. So GISMA Business School essentially is a university that is based in 4 major locations over in Germany itself. So prior to that, right, throughout the years, we have been seeing this trend coming along. There are many more international students which are looking to study abroad in not just the major attractive markets such as the UK, Australia, Canada, or even the US, but there is an emerging trend right now growing within Europe itself. And Germany is one of the countries where it's leading the way. In fact, there are a high amount of number of international students over in Germany already. And there's a huge amount of Indonesian students as well, for the matter, which are currently studying in the higher education side and also the vocational side too. So in total, as a destination for higher education, right now, Germany has probably about 350 to 360,000 international students already coming across 150 to 170 nationalities actually, for the matter, globally. So it goes to show that, wow, it is a country where it has the diversified number of international students, including from our region as well, from our country too. And this goes to show that there is a reason why more and more students are looking forward to actually study in countries like this. So part of the reasons why like Germany is increasingly growing as an attractive destination is primarily because like it's not just the biggest or the largest economic country by GDP measures across Europe, is one of the biggest in the world as well. And also at the same time, it's home to many types of companies coming from automotive, manufacturing, and other relevant industries as well, which are leading the way towards, you know, the tech side of the world as we move forward itself. So since there are huge companies over there, it attracts many professionals to come in. And one of the ways where they do require people to come in towards the country and also they welcome international students to come in is via the higher education's end. And this is where with the flexibility and the entry requirements, which I'll share later on, this is something it provides the interest for international students to consider. And this is why they are coming over and considering a country like Germany to further their higher education studies. And also, if you look into what are the incredible opportunities available, not just on studying over, you get to see that students are able to actually attain like the opportunity to work part-time, the opportunity to gain internships in the long run, and also probably secure something within Germany or parts of Europe itself. Because if you were to study in a country like Germany, you are definitely connected to a number of other leading countries as well, which has really fantastic opportunities across. And part of the reason to why as well that international students, including Indonesian students as well, do consider Germany as a really good country to further their studies is because other than the quality of the education provided, it's also very attractive in terms of the living fees and the affordability. Now, although Germany is actually the biggest country in terms of GDP measures in Europe itself, but in terms of living over there, you have major cities. And most of the cities, almost all of them, in terms of the affordability of living, it's more or less similar as well. So in this case, we are looking at about 35% to 40% actually more affordable to neighboring countries such as the UK or other big education destinations such as Australia or the US for the matter. So these are some of the reasons why Germany itself has been increasingly growing in terms of the popularity and the demands for students to come in to study within the country itself as well. And not to mention, you do get to enjoy and benefit from the culture and also what the other than the quality of the education, you also get to enjoy the environment. You get to have a really, really good experience while you are studying over in Germany for that matter. If you think about Germany, right, always probably the first thought would be like, you know, there are the pioneers in terms of engineering, automotive, manufacturing, and medical itself. So yes, those are the big four where it has been always highly in demand. So if you do come from a background or a German higher education background, looking in terms of, you know, engineering or manufacturing for the matter, your value actually is very high in the job market itself. And that's essentially a fact. But what's interesting is that throughout the past couple of years, we have been seeing a growing emerging trend, particularly in Germany itself, where there is a demand within the market space where they do require professionals to come in to uptake certain professional types of work scope, such as project management, startups in new business, because a city like Berlin is actually considered one of the startup cities within Germany and also in Europe as well. IT and data science is increasingly growing in demand, particularly in software engineering as well. Also business and management, where they do need people to come in to work within the respective industries itself. And one of the ways in which German university itself, what they do practice is that when they look at the demands within the market itself, right, unlike conventional universities, a number of German universities itself, they are looking in terms of how can they match the skills and knowledge which are taught within the class itself towards the demands of the workspace. So this is something in which GESMA Business School or GESMA University for the matter has been practicing throughout the years in which they are involved in the higher education end. And this is something in which they wish to further share this across to potential or inspiring students that like to come over to Germany to study. And what more in terms of considering a higher education provider or an institution where they are able to match the demands within the work scope and also the education offered itself. And why did we do that is that when we look at history itself, GESMA is actually one of the few schools where essentially started off as an institution where they were committed towards offering not just a research or theory kind of academic approach, but rather than also applying a practical kind of work scope as well, or practical kind of knowledge and sharing. Because today, these days, due to the number of demands for graduate employability, meaning that there's a lot of organizations out there that really do need people to work over. They do need fresh graduates to join in. But one of the key things is that they lack the skills and knowledge. So this is something in which universities are supposed to be accountable of. And GESMA has been actually one of the pioneers within Germany, or in this case, within Europe itself, where they solely focus on ensuring that the graduates are fully prepared for their career run itself. And how do they go about? They essentially are an applied science university. So what this means essentially is that an applied science university is a university where they focus on practicality other than the academic sense. So practicality means that students will go through a series of like going through internships, for example. Also would need to actually go through a number of company projects or organizations, anything relevant to ensure that their growth and they are prepared to become a success within a career side and to also, thrive within their working environment. So these are some of the skills in which GESMA was committed and is committed to offering it. And that's why they're an applied science university itself. And over in Germany, there's almost more or less almost 400 universities, and you have universities where it's research, where it's full on theory side, and then you have universities which are applied sciences, which is more or less 50% practicality and 50% academic as well. That is the study nature in which is offered. And one thing about GISMA itself, though it's one of the few private universities which are state accredited, it has an incredible value in terms of offering a 100% pure German degree itself for the matter. So in order to find out the quality of the university itself, no matter which country, you have to look into two things: the quality of the teaching and also the quality of the certification as well that comes out. So what's interesting is that GISMA has been officially recognized by the German higher education and also a number of professional association bodies as well, which increases the quality of the certification offered. So because of this, our graduates in GISMA becomes more attractive. So in this case, we are happy to learn that actually, while working with over 200 companies currently, we actually get HR people from different companies who are looking out for fresh grads to join them. They will come and work with us. So we work with them. We have a lot of workshops. We have a lot of activities in place for our respective students so that they get exposed to all of these opportunities in place. This has been around for quite some time, and GISMA essentially is one of the very unique universities within Germany itself that offers this. And if you look at history right now, they are about 23 years old because they first established or started in 1999 itself. And yes, so these are some of the accreditations which are practically available to increase the quality of the certification and also ensure that the students will get a really, really good education experience for that matter. And at the same time as well, these days universities are working with other relevant institutes out there as well in order to increase like the offerings, in order to ensure that the students get good education and good exposure. So in this case, GISMA do work with partner universities out there, which are actually credible, like for instance, Grenoble Management Institute, University of Law, which is a really good university as well, Kingston University, and also other relevant institutes across globally too. So this is to like just increase the network and also the quality offered towards the students, because the students' success is always within the minds of all our professors within GISMA itself. And just to reshare as well, the accreditation, so we are one of the few universities in Europe, in fact, that are A and B accredited, along with other respective professional associations and also certifications, which provides more or less a reassurance for students to actually be confident that this is a fantastic university. You will get a really good education, exposure and experience. And also at the same time, we have already laid out a pathway for you to move forward on your career success in the later run. So again, we also work with almost more than 200 organizations. In fact, just a few days ago, one of the professors mentioned that we just actually recently partnered with Deloitte, one of the big consulting firms globally too. So it goes to show that GISMA itself, within the career side, they are actually doing their best to their abilities to ensure that the opportunities are there for their respective students. Meanwhile, they also have certifications in place for students to enjoy and benefit and from to improve their skills in the longer run. So if you look at Germany itself, there are really good cities, fantastic places to actually study. And the top 3 places where you have most number of international students, ideally, is actually Munich, Berlin, and also Hamburg itself. So we are in 2 of these 3 cities. We are located in Berlin, Hanover, Hamburg, and about 25 minutes away from Berlin, we have this IT hub, or let's just say like a Silicon Valley of Germany or Europe for the matter. It's a city called Potsdam. And this is where it gets really interesting because there's a number of attractive organizations which are available over there for students to get exposed to. So again, that's the whole idea, not just education within the classroom, but outside the campus as well. So we are based in Berlin too. So Berlin, ideally, there are so many students which are there and they're growing. It's a hustle and bustle city. And it's a fantastic city to actually really learn about the German culture. And we are also in a city based in Hanover, where it's ideally not as busy as Berlin or Munich for the matter, but it's also a fantastic city for students to consider if they want a little bit of a laid-back side of studying in Germany. And Hamburg is actually quite a student-friendly city. There's a lot of cafes. It's more or less like a hipsters, and there's also a number of usual kind of events and happenings out there. So you get to experience all the German culture. You get to experience all of this while studying in these type of prominent cities as well. And not to mention as well, reiterating Potsdam too, which is a really, really fantastic city, an emerging one where you have all the work opportunities over there, particularly for postgrad or even undergraduate programs too. So this is where we are based at. We have almost over 50 nationalities at the moment and growing itself. We are growing in terms of student numbers coming in GISMA. And the whole idea behind this is that we want to provide that German experience, the German quality, and with the assurance that we are recognized as well. So to also just share with all of you as well, please do ensure that whichever universities you go to, again, they have to be associated with the higher education and also certified by professional bodies. And we are certified by all these respective bodies as highlighted over here. And the state recognition, although we are a private university, but the state accreditation gives us the opportunity to be a little bit flexible in terms of our entry requirements and also provide other relative types of advantages in comparison to other universities within Germany itself for the matter. So this makes us a little bit more attractive. We have been actually getting a number of students within Europe itself coming in, and also we have been actually getting a number of students outside of Europe itself coming in for the matter, and it's slowly growing. And we want to welcome each and every one of you. If you are actually considering to study a really, really good education, Germany is one of the countries you should consider, and GISMA should be one of the universities or institutes where you would really need to actually probably consider to join in as well. So what are the programs in which we want to offer, or the type of programs in which we offer in GISMA? Ideally, we do have a few in place for a matter. So other than our bachelor's programs and the master programs, which is considered S1 dan S2, and also our MBA, we also have another department where we focus on German language to prepare students for their journey in a public university, and also for students to just learn the language itself, because we do encourage our students to actually learn the language. And while studying with us, it's a different country, you get an additional skill set by learning something new. So this is something we encourage over within in GISMA itself. And prioritizing on what are the key essentials in which we are deeply committed to students is that other than the quality of the education, we also have a diversified number of students which are in place studying with us. And one of the key things itself when it comes to university strength is the career center too. So you will need to actually see and explore career centers as well within the university. There are a number of universities out there that has really good high rankings, but when it comes to the strength of the career center, it is not as adequate, or it's not there just yet. So please do actually consider the career center, the strength of it within the university. And thankfully within GISMA itself, we have been really strong in this, and we are really happy to see that our students have become successful once they graduated, or even before they graduated. Again, since we work with almost 200 organizations, most of the HR will come to us and source for talents within us. And this is because of our career centers, which are dedicated to helping students to secure a successful future as well. And while we are in the fantastic cities, Berlin, Hanover, Hamburg, and also Potsdam as well, so this provides the offering for the cultural exposure, the education experience, and also the work scope environment as well. With the support also of an advantage of studying in Germany is that you do have the opportunity to attain an 18 months post-study work visa as well. So this is something where you gain once you've completed your education. It provides the opportunity for students to stay there and also probably to secure a full-time job later on too. So these are some of the things in which GISMA is committed to. in retrospect, in terms of the programs, again, which are offered, we highly focus on the things which are in demand in the workplace. So in this case, you have really in-demand programs within the scope of business and management itself, and also the IT space where you have virtual reality, up-and-coming software engineering, data science, and many more. So we tend to focus on this because the professors, which has about 15 to 20 years or even more number of work experience, they tend to actually focus on this type of programs. We have been the pioneers for this, and we want to continuously aim to ensure that these will be the programs we focus on so that we can provide a really good quality of education itself. So within the bachelor scope, we have the international business management, data science, AI and digital business, software engineering, computer science, and also business and management. And within the postgraduates, and you have international business management, leadership for digital transformation, data science, which is the postgraduate for data science, AI, and digital business. We have the masters for it. And we also have the most popular programs, which are in Europe, or in this case, any parts of the world as well, which is MBA. So MBA is quite interesting because it increases your knowledge, not just on the theory, based on the skill set and how do you apply certain kind of practices to move forward in terms of management side. So that has been the practice of MBA itself, but we also have others where it focuses on leadership and also transition as well, such as human resource or any other parts of operations within an organization too. So other than GISMA's Applied Science Department, where we offer pure German degrees, we also have the part where we do host our partner programs as well, coming from University of Law, Grenoble, and also Kingston as well. So these are some programs where, ideally we feel that this is a demand in Germany itself, in this campus or in the city where we are based at. Why not offer this? And this has been going well. And these are also some programs in which you can consider to come in. The key difference ideally is that at the end of the day, Applied Science University's department within GISMA itself, they offer a pure 100% German-based degree, whereas our partner is just like our partner programs are essentially a collaboration between GISMA and the university, but eventually the qualifications will come from the partner school as well. So that is something in which, as a student itself, you need to consider too, if you were to explore universities for that matter. And also not to mention our language department as well. Now, here comes one of the key advantages to why you should consider a university such as GISMA as well. So one of the interesting things is that you are hearing right now, there are many more emerging European universities outside of the UK are offering their programs to study in English. So GISMA has been offering the programs to study, programs to be learned in English for the matter for the longest time already, ever since their establishment. So students actually have the opportunity to study the entire program, S1 or S2, undergraduate and also postgraduate in English, 100%. At the same time too, learn the German language in their own time as well. So this is something we do encourage. And what's interesting is that this actually really works because within the public setting over in Germany, as in the public university, in order for you to enroll into a public university, 95% of those public universities are actually taught in German. And to attain the German language proficiency is relatively very high. So this is one of the key parts where, it's quite difficult for international students to actually join in. And also at the same time as well, you would need a higher qualification other than a common year 12 to join in the public university. This is something where GISMA has addressed it. You can study in English, and then with the year 12 qualifications too, you can enroll with us for our bachelor's program, or you have our master's. If you'd like to join in for a master's, you can actually have like a bachelor's program and just join in over. Not an issue at all. So these are just certain flexibilities in which we are able to provide towards international students and also local students as well. So in fact, just for a fun fact, the increase of universities in German actually being teaching in English is not because of the international students. it is partially because of that, but it's actually also because of the local students as well, where they actually have been joining private universities or private institutes. Because the reason why they have been joining private institutes or universities is that because they have been teaching in English. So instead of actually relearning or learning their programs in German, the locals decided to, like they want to learn in English. So at least to get a different skill set. So that's why the demands for it has grown. And that's why it has opened up for more international students to join in. And so you do get a quality education, you do study in English, but you get a 100% pure German education exposure and the qualifications too. In your own time as well, you are able to learn the language as well. So how do we actually, what are the admission criteria? What's the entry requirements like? So countries like Germany, what's interesting is that other than the public sector, if you look at the private sector, such as in GISMA, we do essentially have that flexibility where, for instance, if you have the, if you actually do not achieve like a certain language qualifications amount such as IELTS 6.0 for the matter, which is, or 6.5, which is always, the usual for universities in UK or Australia or even the US. Most German universities, or in this case GISMA, actually does accept students with IELTS 5.5 equivalent for their bachelor's program too. So this goes to show that we have the flexibility. In fact, other than IELTS, we do accept other English language proficiency qualifications as well. So like the Duolingo, TOEFLs, Pearsons, and so forth. If the student comes from an English background, we do accept that, we do look into that as a medium of instruction as well, where we can actually qualify the student for the language criteria. So as I was sharing earlier, to enroll into a common public university in Germany, what's interesting is that you would need a year 13 qualification. Why you need a year 13 qualification is because in Germany, the high school system is up until 13 years. So since the high school system is up until 13 years, most of the, the locals will have a 13-year qualification to enroll into the public university. Whereas for international students, we usually finish probably like in Indonesia, it's like SMA, and then you finish in year 12, I believe. Yes. So we only have the qualification to probably join a local degree or probably other countries. But in Germany itself, you will need a 13-year qualification to join the public university. This is something where GISMA has, for the longest time, they've actually known, they have actually addressed the concern for the students. So what they did was they actually, in a way, changed the entry requirement, or in this case, provide the flexibility of students with a direct SMA or like a year 12 qualification to directly join in for their bachelor's program. So you do not need a 13-year qualification to join in for a applied science university such as in GISMA. So this is something which are offered openly within the market itself and to students coming from Indonesia too. We in fact have actually have and are going to have like further Indonesian students to come in to study, because other than believing in what we offer, there are students within the campus itself where they're enjoying their studies or their experience within GISMA itself. So these are some of the things where we offer on a flexible manner. And at the same time, we do not look in terms of the high CGPA of students as well. So we look into students where, okay, you might not be gifted in terms of your academics and like, CGPA 3.6, 3.7, or if at all you come from average background, it's okay, it's fine. We do welcome students like this. So we don't mind in terms of the grades as well, because at the end of the day, we are committed to ensuring that we sharpen your skills and knowledge within your time frame with us this month by ensuring that you succeed in your career side. So we just welcome students from all different backgrounds as well. So yeah, we have the flexibility of the language and also your CGPA as well. You do not need like really high grades, and also at the same time, you can, with your SMA 12, you can actually just join in our bachelor's program, right? And the master's, essentially, it's a little bit, as usual, the master's is a little bit more professional. So the qualification is just a little bit higher in terms of the language proficiency wise, but we just require a bachelor's for students to come in, and then they can enjoy and benefit from our learnings and our professors as well. And conventionally speaking, like most of the programs which are, let's just say bachelor's, conventionally, again, public universities 13 years, but private universities, only a few, such as GISMA, have the opportunity to offer you at the year 12 entry level. The programs are 3 years taught in GISMA for a bachelor's. Master's, it ranges from 1 year to 2 years. So if you do 4 years bachelor's, you are qualified for 1 year master's. But if at all you've done 3 years bachelor's and you have working experience, we can use that as a recognition of prior learning for you to be qualified for at least a 1 year or maybe a 1.5 years. So that is flexible. That is something which is offered. Students can study full-time, also part-time as well. And also we have the online learning modules, which are practically available for students to start off if they wouldn't want to come to the country first. But we do encourage students, to just come in, to study face-to-face because you experience everything. And also the culture within, not just the campus, but Germany itself. So our tuition fees, respectively, when it comes to the investment-wise, each on an average basis. So this is the usual fees in which are always more or less, if you can see across Germany itself, under the public sector, the private sector is usually this amount as well. And what's interesting is that, yes, we want to provide, further values to the students, more or less so that we do actually offer scholarships, which are in place for students. And we have a number of scholarships that are relevant already and available for students to actually apply. But the good news is that since we are actually increasing in number of students coming in and we want to welcome further students, we have in fact provided, or we have in fact currently providing the opportunity for students to attain scholarships up to 35% for all the programs in which they're considering to study with us, or more for that matter. So in this case, we are very happy because this is something where, on the affordability end for your tuition investment, it's that you get to invest your tuition fee at a lower rate, but you get a really, really good value. You get to maximize the value of getting a German higher education degree itself. So our scholarships are there. The entry requirements are flexible as well, and you get to study English. And this is something where it actually increases the attractiveness of a university such as in GISMA. And not to mention also the Career Service Center, which was shared earlier. And it's never a dull day in GISMA. It's always something happening over there. Either the professors will do the activities, or the student centers will do the activities, or the Career Service Centers, which are always there, bringing in organizations to actually share what they offer, also matching what other company needs, and also preparing the students as well in terms of interviews, even as simple as polishing their CVs, writing very good letters, intentional letters as well to actually join in the positions within organizations, workshops, projects, startup projects, internships. So these are all things in which are offered within GISMA itself. In fact, we also work with this job portal called Job Teasers. So this is where students also gain access to work, finding for jobs, where they can work part-time or even full-time as well, if they want to, for the matter. But again, full-time is after you graduate. Part-time, you can work up to 20 hours a week. And hourly rates, it ranges from 9 euros up until 15 euros right now. So this is something which is quite attractive for students. And it depends on your employer. You can discuss, and I've seen that there are some students actually work in the marts, like in the shopping marts and so forth. They earn up to 1,700 euros, almost 2,000 euros too. So yeah, I'm not sure how they go about, but yeah, you have that opportunity, which are presently available for students. So if you will look at, okay, you're interested to come over to Germany and you're excited, probably selected a university, maybe such as GISMA as well. So what are the things you need to prepare for? Of course, within the university's end, we are definitely here, AECC, and of course myself as well. We're here to assist you in terms of the application process and the methods. So all you have to do is just meet the entry requirements. and apply for the programs within GISMA itself. And when you move forward towards applying for your visa to come over, every country has different regulations for the visa requirements. So within Germany itself, you will need to actually provide additional types of documentations and so forth to increase, like, I mean, this is something which is required. And this is something also has been in practice for quite some time already. And it's for all international students. One thing you need to be mindful is that other than those additional documents, which are commonly usual, you would need to also be mindful about opening up a German block bank account and also ensuring you have a covered health insurance. So these are the two major things usually you will hear while you are applying for your visa, other than the common documentations in which you need to show. So block account means that over in Germany to study, you need to show that at least, you need to show the authority actually, like you need to have a healthy amount to actually sustain yourself for a year. So the amount in which they're looking for is actually about 11,800 already, plus minus, to just put in, because of inflation, they've increased it. So just put it as 12,000 euros within the account. And it just needs to be highlighted over the visa's end to show that you have an amount to actually sustain yourself for a year. So in this case, every month, about 800 euros to 900 euros will be issued out to you. So that has been the structure and the practice for a block bank account. There are many student-friendly banks. It has to be a pure German bank account. So in this case, we are definitely here to guide you on how to go about. And you do not need to worry because we will do this together and we will ensure that it's a step-by-step basis. And the amount in which you put in, you will attain it back. So it's not something where, you know, it goes missing again. Not all the matter. And also being mindful about the health insurance as well. So we encourage students to just take up the public health insurance. So it's about 30 euros a month, about 360 euros a year or so. So you just need to show these documentations. But again, these are the things in which we, as professional advisors, we will assist you to actually go through for that matter. All right. So accommodation-wise, this is something GISMA itself do provide in terms of support, and we will, to the best of our abilities, we will actually find out spaces for you to live in, whichever meets your requirements, because we have accommodation providers where we work with a lot, and when you feel that you're comfortable or staying in the cities, like for example Potsdam, we will find what's best for you, and it's up to you to decide. And of course, you can find out on your own as well. So we have that thing in place too. Most universities in Germany also have that kind of a little bit of that support, but not as active as GISMA, because again, as one of the private institutions, we do have like a center to actually assist students for this. Do not worry about it. We will provide you what are the options available, and then you will need to move forward in terms of booking accommodation wise. So every city itself, the accommodation for every respective cities is not much difference. It's just the type of accommodation will make the major difference. So you have smaller rooms, you have shared rooms, and also you have probably like one apartment as well, where you can share with other international students too. So these are the things where it's optional for you to select and also take up or probably consider. So these are respectively the cost of living in Germany itself. If you can look at it, it's relatively on average about 700 to actually about 800 to 900 euros. If at all you are a student where you spend a lot, yeah, then definitely it goes more than 1,000 euros. But you have to be mindful about other than the spending part as well. Like it's normal when you go to like expensive cafes, which they are all around as well, you tend to spend more. But if you at all you cook for yourself, and if at all you actually go to the mart, it's much more affordable. So a lot of students actually they live within this range, and of course, cities like Berlin, they do have the higher chances of not having the accommodation of the choice because there are many students over there. But something like Potsdam, 25 minutes away from Berlin, it's a city to consider as well to study over there. And you can get really good and decent rooms too. So these are some of the things in which, other than GISMA being committed to it, but just a food for thought on your end, just like an additional information on your end to what's the cost like of living in Germany itself. Okay, so yeah, that's practically the knowledge sharing in regards to GISMA itself. Again, we have a number of students coming from all backgrounds, and we truly want to welcome students. If they'd like to consider GISMA, or if they'd like to consider Germany, they can consider GISMA to come in as well. Okay, so that's about the Germans end. I'm not sure, Lani, should we open up questions for Germany, or should we just move forward towards studying in the Netherlands? What do you think?
I mean, we can proceed with the with the study in Amsterdam. However, there is one question at the moment. Maybe you want to address that as well. Even though these questions, if I read these questions to you, how to do business in Germany but can't speak German at all, but have the passion to try. I might add to that question, Ivan. What would be the chance or opportunity for international students, especially the Indonesian students, who usually don't speak German or even Dutch for both countries, to get a part-time work or to do the post-study work, to work during the post-study work visa? Is it something that been easy, or because you don't speak the native language?
Actually, that's a fantastic question, because every country, you have your local language, right? And it's a definite advantage to learn the local language, but it's not a must to actually learn the language in order to do business. It's an additional advantage for the matter. Germany itself is a country where they do value the culture, and they do like the students, or they do like international people or expatriates coming into the country to speak their dialect, to speak German. But almost all of them are able to speak in German as well, which is a good thing, because students wouldn't feel lost for that matter. And in their own time and pace, because there's a number of language schools in Germany, and GISMA has a language department as well, the students can come in, can study German in their own time frame. And it's very much encouraged from day one as well to actually try to learn the language. And to actually learn the language, you got to practice it. So you will be exposed to a number of German speaking people over there in the country, and you will pick it up. So just like every other country where they prioritize their local language, students or expatriates or international people for the matter wouldn't have a choice but to pick up the language. So it's something natural where our students were to experience, but it's not a must. So I know professionals who are in Germany right now, but they do not know the language. They are working over there, and there are some who are actually doing business too. But the method of conversation is through English only. And I do know, most of the workplace over there, they do encourage the students or people to try to learn the language. So yes, it's not a must. You still can do business in Germany without speaking German at all. But in your own time, please do try to learn the language. Yep. And I do believe, Lani, we do have a couple of additional questions, right?
It's just GISMA or all children waive year 13 education? That's the second question from Angelina.
Yep. And what's interesting is that over in Germany, again, you're right, you do need 13 years qualification. You do need 13 years qualification to join the public sector. But with GISMA, we waive it. So with a year 12 qualification, which is your SMA high school, we can offer you the bachelor's program. So this is something interesting, which is offered solely by GISMA, one of the few universities in Germany that offers this opportunity. And you get to study in English. Our students with scholarships still need to have block accounts yes, there's another question by Aida. Yes, you do need to have the block bank account if you want to come over to Germany itself. So this is like something of a must for the visa application method.
Okay, we may proceed to the Amsterdam one because we do not have too much time.
Oh, wow, okay, I'm so sorry. Okay, so yeah, let me just share about the other university in which both the team at AECC and also myself are representing over in Southeast Asia as well. So earlier we talked about Germany. Again, it's a fantastic country. It has a number of students which are emerging and coming over. And other than Germany itself, we have been seeing like an increased trend of students considering, particularly for Indonesia, because Indonesia do have a history with Holland for the matter, the Netherlands, right? And we are seeing an increased trend of students coming over to study within the Netherlands as well. So Netherlands itself, it has a lesser amount of universities compared to Germany. So we're looking at about less than about 100 institutions, including colleges, including private institutions and also universities, which are top ranked, middle ranked, and so forth. And one of the universities in which we highly encourage students usually to consider to join is a university which is based right in the heart of Amsterdam itself. So Amsterdam, again, is the city of in Holland. So it's like the Ibu Kota, or like it's the major city, like how Jakarta is for Indonesia. But now they've shifted to Nusantara. But in Holland, basically Amsterdam is the city, the main city for Holland. So Amsterdam itself is interesting because it's really a fantastic city for students to experience and also to not just get good knowledge, but again, exposed to a number of organizations which are in place. Now, within Holland itself, there's relatively about 120,000 international students. And if you look at the number of Indonesian students which are studying, it's about 1,500 to 2,000 international students coming from Indonesia to just study over there. But various types of, various types of programs in which are considering. So this wouldn't be just the higher education end, but also some technical programs too, for that matter. So focusing on the higher education part, if you can see, Intercollege is essentially a University of Applied Science. And what it means again is that they focus mainly on preparing the students for the working environment. So we want to ensure that the success of career is there. So this has been the heart of Intercollege. This has been the objective for the longest time since 1979 itself. Similar to GISMA as well as an applied science university, we have to be committed to ensuring that the higher education provided or the opportunity provided must align with what the career side requires or are in demand itself. So again, in Holland, most of the big universities, they are out in the outskirts, they are outside the cities and so forth. In Amsterdam itself, you only have about 2 to 3 major universities, and one of them is Intercollege, where it is right in the center of the Amsterdam hustle and bustle, the city as well. So it's a very touristy place. There's always tourists all around, but it's also a place where there's so many companies out there where students can actually work part-time, and also students can actually gain good opportunities and also good connections as well. But one thing interesting about Holland as a study destination is that you do have very, very good programs, fantastic universities, wide ranges of opportunities available as well. And the best part about it is that most of it are taught in English. So like in Germany, they are taught in German. 95% of the universities are taught in German, but in Holland it's almost all, about 70-80% are taught in English itself. And in fact, Holland is actually for English is like second nature for them. So they speak really good English for the matter compared to Germany as per se. And focusing on Intercollege, as it's essentially an entrepreneurial business school. So what it means is that Intercollege only focus on certain programs where it increases the skill sets of entrepreneurial side, opening up a business, and also within the business scope of organizations as well. So they have been providing this for the longest time since 1979. And this is something where it has been successful up until now. In fact, we actually are getting more and more students who are relatively interested to come in because the setting is such that it's an entrepreneurial business university. It's not a conventional university, unlike the bigger universities out there, which has a wide variety of programs. But Intercollege itself is something where you can consider if you have the passion and also the idea of actually becoming an entrepreneur in the longer run. Intercollege is the best place for you to actually go to. In fact, it's one of the, if not, it's actually, I would say it's one of the best places in Europe itself to purely learn business for the matter. And again, how do we know that Intercollege is a proper university? Always go back to the accreditation itself. And Holland also, just like other countries, you have universities which are not, as prominent as it is. They don't commit to what they say. To ensure that they are all quality, always go back to the certification part. So Intercollege is essentially NDEO accredited, meaning it's recognized by the Higher Education of Netherlands Association itself. And we are also NRTO accredited, which is actually an accreditation where it carries a much higher value compared to just an NDEO accreditation over. So with these two combinations and affiliations with a number of organizations out there, Intercollege does provide the best of both worlds as well. You don't just get the education experience, but you get the organization exposure too. And that has always been the ultimate goal again for a University of Applied Science such as Intercollege to provide this opportunity and these advantages for students over. So just like other universities globally and also within Holland itself, you have the research universities, you have the traditional universities, and also you have the entrepreneurial universities such as Intercollege. And what's interesting about entrepreneurial universities or business type of universities such as Intercollege is that every now and then they will need to ensure that their programs have to be aligned with the work scope or with the demands of career as well. So this is something which is huge in not just Europe, but in Intercollege for the matter. So what are the programs we offer? We essentially offer two programs because we want to keep it focused and specific. We have our MBA program and also we have our bachelor's in business administration. For the past 10 years, we have been seeing a 99% of employment rate. So we are doing something right. Intercollege is doing something right. This is something where, they want to share this across. And if you're told you're a student where you are interested to come over to Europe and Holland is something where you're comfortable with, please do consider Intercollege as well as one of the schools because it's a fantastic place to actually learn entrepreneurial programs. MBAs usually, or postgraduate program, usually in Holland, it ranges from 1 year to 2 years, depending on the type of program. So over Intercollege, since we only focus on business programs, our postgraduate program consists of MBA. So it's 12 months, it's 1 year. But within the 1 year itself, it's actually a full hands-on on you working. So the moment you come in, you'll be given the task to start off your own company. You will need to actually undergo certain projects. You will need to go through a lot of organizational kind of challenges and activities, which actually between Intercollege or GISMA for the matter, Intercollege has more of this type of activities which are in place. So it depends on the students itself. So if they feel that, I would like to study MBA where, into, learning about organizations, consider Intercollege as one of the university in which you like to join. Whereas coming to Holland, look at Holland's end, right? Intercollege is essentially like one of the relative few universities that practices this, but you do have other relevant institutions and universities that more or less are similar, But the key difference is also like the quality of the professors, the quality of the education, and also the cost as well. So speaking of cost, what we're looking at the MBA over Intercollege is practically on an average end, it's about 16,000 euros on a yearly basis. It's 1 year for the program, but we do have scholarships in place for students to join in. But as a unique business school and entrepreneur school, we would need the students to have like, relevant work experience. They would need to have all those things in place after they graduate their bachelor's program in order to enroll into college itself. But the common practice within Holland itself is that, yes, there are certain universities that accepts year 12, but then there are certain universities where you need to do a foundation year, even though you have a year 12 qualification to join in the university itself. So we have to be mindful on that. We have to actually consider if the universities you have in place, you're considering to join in, please check the entry requirements. But with Intercollege, MBA, if you have a bachelor's program, or you have done a bachelor's and you have some working experience, you can join in already. Whereas, like, if you look into a bachelor's of business administration program, that's the other program which we have. What's interesting is that you do not need the foundation, the Dutch foundation. You can just join in with the year 12 qualification, with SMA to join in. So most degrees in Holland actually varies. There are 4-year degrees and also there are 3-year degrees. You can finish certain degrees at 3 years. You have to finish certain degrees within 4 years itself. So within Intercollege, we offer the flexibility where, yes, it's at 4 years, but you can finish within 3 years if you take up certain examinations. So this is something where we provide the flexibility for students, because Intercollege is a very, very independent type of school. The second semester itself, you will be actively again involved in a lot of organizational activities. So it's a very, very unique type of learning experience. In fact, I wouldn't say it's called a university. It's more or less like an organizational development institution where it really, really prepares the students. And amongst all the brands in which in global university systems, Intercollege has the highest number of employment rate. In fact, they're going to touch almost 100%. And this is something where the management itself in Intercollege are relatively proud of, and they want to continuously offer this for students. So it's a very, very unique and different type of university compared to the other common universities around. And it's a very good university for students who are really, really interested to get the entrepreneurial ideas, passionate about starting up a business later on, and just want to become a success within the workspace and so forth. Intercollege has all the connections and networks which are practically available within them, because within their student service center and their career center too, they will prepare the students for internships. They will prepare the students to get them connected to the organizations, and they will place the students as well to these organizations. So it's something where a number of universities can't commit to it, but Intercollege is there to provide this advantage to some students who are interested in this type of studies. And again, students can complete this program, the bachelor's program, within 3 years. What's interesting is that usually the entry requirements is that you do require a year 12. A number of Holland universities, their entry requirements are actually quite high, but for the matter in Intercollege, we are a little bit lower in terms of the language proficiency, in terms of also your grades, because again, we look into the grades. We just prepare the students for the real world itself. And not many universities in Holland provides this, but not to undermine them, they're all fantastic universities. You as a student should look into in terms of seeing how can the programs in which you have studied matches with the career demand itself. And this is something where Intercollege, one of the few relevant institutions or one of the few universities out there, is committed to it and offer this type of education. So for international students, again, the entry requirements is a little bit more flexible compared to others. But if you were to compare within Germany or Holland itself, the entry requirements for Germany, it favors the Germans end because over at intercollege, we're looking at IELTS 6.0, but in Germany, it's like 5.5. So that's the standard practice. And Holland itself is, other than Germany, Holland itself is a really fantastic city, a country to actually study. You have many good cities which are laid back, a bit laid back. You get to learn about the culture. If at all you're a student where you feel that, you do not like the hustle and bustle, Holland is one of the countries to consider. And also they have a number of scholarships which are in place as well throughout the universities out there. So it goes to intercollege too, because intercollege has these scholarships provided, which are provided for students in place. And if you look at our location in Amsterdam as well, again, throughout Holland, there's about 120,000 international students. Within Amsterdam itself, there isn't much institutions, but there are many opportunities for students to work like part-time, get an internship. So most of the students will travel into the city, and then once they work, then they'll travel back to their dormitory or to their room. But since we are located in the heart of Amsterdam itself, it's quite nearby to provide like internship opportunities and part-time opportunities too for students. So amongst all the cities in Holland, Amsterdam is the place where you have the most opportunities. And it's also one of the IT hubs as well, or the startup culture hub in Europe too. So we are based there, you have really good connections, and you have really good opportunities to actually work part-time as well, which are practically available there. You can work up to 20 hours when you are studying your semester. You can work full-time when you're off semester also. So this is something which are quite interesting and offered within Holland itself and even Amsterdam. And intercollege is there to ensure that you get the best of both worlds. Now, what are the key advantages in terms of studying in Holland, right? One of it essentially, right, my personal favorite, to be honest, is that most of the universities in Holland, they will apply the visa on behalf of the student. So for the visa application part, the university itself will assist you as a student to apply for the visa. So most of the time, or other countries, you have a professional like AECC to assist you to apply for the visa. But like in Holland, the university itself will assist you to apply for the visa. Intercollege has really high visa approval rate, like we don't have any rejections. And this is a good thing because it goes to show that it's a quality university. It's a very fantastic institution as well. And our team in Holland itself will be committed to actually assist you on the application for the visa side. And also every country is different in terms of what's required. So for Holland, you just have to show your bank statement. Other than like in Germany, you need to open up a bank account, right? A block bank account. Or in Holland, you just have to show a bank statement that indicates that you have 1 year living fees and also 1 year tuition fees. Always be mindful of that. And also of the other relevant documentations which are in place for you to consider. So again, do not worry, students, because we are here to assist you. We are here to advise you if you want to really consider to study either in Holland or, either in the Netherlands or in Germany. We are here to actually advise you accordingly. And what's another advantage is that accommodation is also provided within the universities itself. Intercollege will actually find accommodation for you. In fact, they work with prominent accommodation providers such as the Student Hotel in Amsterdam and also a prominent website called Room, where they are able to source and find accommodation for you. And before you come in, the accommodation will be secured already. Do not worry about it. You have really good facilities in place and you all have the modern access to it. It's all fully equipped with the amenities, and you as a student get to enjoy and benefit from this other than studying in the campus itself. So accommodation and visa will be settled by the universities in Holland. With intercollege, we do actually commit to that. Now, if you look at the cost of living in Amsterdam or the cost of living in Holland is more or less relatively more, about 15 to 20% more compared to living in Germany. So you are looking about almost 750 euros for living for a room on a monthly basis, plus about 500 euros on living fees on a monthly basis. So it's about 1,200 euros, 1,200 to 1,300 euros, in which we usually advise our students to prepare if they want to study in the Netherlands itself. Both these countries, they do have really good scholarship providers as well, where students outside of the university, they can actually apply for these scholarships, and then perhaps gain the scholarships, and these scholarships are there to cover their monthly costs and also cover their semester fees too. So these are just some of the general knowledge which are about the Netherlands for the matter. So yeah, I do hope it has been informative regards to studying in Holland. Again, there's about less than 100 institutes and universities in Holland, but there are fantastic universities. Most of the universities are the outskirts of the cities. Intercollege is one of the few ones, or in this case, one of the only ones that actually is in the middle of the city, and we are in the middle of Amsterdam. And if you do love to actually really enjoy and benefit from a culture of tourism and also a number of organizations out there, and to work part-time and to secure a solid job later on. All right, Lani. So I guess that is a little bit about Holland. Yep, we can open to Q&A regards to Holland or Germany for the matter.
Okay, thank you, Ivan. There are two questions from Nurbaya Rada. One is how to join the business there, which I think the question would be a part-time job. And what are the requirements to be able to study there, which you mentioned earlier, and be able to work part-time too?
Yep. So I do believe that how do you, the first question is addressing and how do you work part-time, right? So firstly, as a student, you can actually go through the career center where they will assist you or provide you a network of jobs where are available part-time. And you can actually go through it and you can just apply for it, and high chances that you may get it. So there are many types of part-time jobs available, like hospitality, tourism, admin, also the IT side, and something as simple as, something is in demand, like graphic designing. They are all there. So there are actually quite a number of part-time jobs available. So you can go through our career center. We will advise you on how to get the part-time job. And the requirements essentially is that to join the programs, you will need to actually have you have to meet the entry requirements. And to work there, once you're joined in as a student, you are allowed to work part-time up to 20 hours. And if at all the employer, whoever hires you, feels that they can offer you more hours, they will offer you more hours. So we have students who are working more than 20 hours, but that is dependent on the arrangement between you and your employer itself.
All right, thank you so much, Ivan. Nurbaya Rada, I hope this helps you to understand more. Since we are running out of time,
okay.
Just to wrap up the session today, on behalf of AECC Global and our audience, I'd like to thank you very much, Ivan, for the very comprehensive information so that we have an idea on the difference between studying business in Germany and also in Netherlands.
Yes.
Okay, so I would like to thank AECC Global Friends, of course, who's been here until the end of our information session today. Saya juga ingin mengingatkan teman-teman AECC Global di akhir acara ini, bagi mereka yang juga berminat untuk belajar di US atau Kanada, bahwa informasi belajar di US dan Kanada bersama dengan US and Canada institutions akan diadakan pada hari Sabtu depan, tanggal 13 Agustus dari jam 1 sampai jam 5. Acara ini face to face, sehingga Anda boleh RSVP dulu melalui websitenya AECC Global atau memberitahu kanselor Anda bahwa Anda akan datang ke Go Work Plaza Indonesia di kantor AECC pada jam yang sudah ditentukan. Okay, once again, thank you very much everybody to be here, especially to Ivan. Stay safe everybody and have a great weekend.
Terima kasih semua. Thank you so much, Lani and team. We'll speak soon then. Bye.
That's the thing about life. It can be unpredictable, but your dreams need not be. How far would you go to make your dreams come true? How close are you to reaching those goals set by you? While others focus on a new normal, you focus on a new beginning. Look around for what inspires you. Build your narrative. After all, it's your story to tell. Take a chance. Take a leap. Begin your study abroad journey with us.
Looking for the right course for you? Welcome to AECC Global's Course Search, your one-stop platform for all your international education needs. Browse through millions of free, valuable study abroad resources to pursue your international study dream. To begin your search, type in your preferred course in the search bar. Filter by sub-course category, level of study, destination preference, tuition fees, duration, and post-study work visa. With a destination drop-down, you can search for the preferred destinations of your choice. You can also filter down courses by top-ranked universities in your preferred destination and their rankings. Browse through various career choices, and you can also browse through free student resources like articles on tips to study abroad, the latest news, etc. We are here to support you with every step of your study abroad journey. To explore your course options, visit search.aeccglobal.com.